What's up, YouTube? My name is Talon, and today I will be telling you guys my thoughts about The Acolyte. Now, starting off with this show, I feel like this show started off pretty meh to weak, and then I feel like it got stronger towards the end. I feel like this season could have been much longer because a lot of the episodes that we seen during the Acolyte, I feel like they could have been combined together. So, episodes 1 and 2, I feel like that really could have been one episode. There are some things that we definitely did not need. Um, of course, episode 3 and episode 7, those could have been one episode. There's no reason that we got Osha and May's point of view for the first half of the season, and then the second half of the season, right before the finale, we get the Jedi's point of view. I didn't really like that. I feel like maybe if they did a 50-minute episode, give us 25 minutes of Osha and May's view, and then 25 minutes of Soul's view, it would have been able to cover things. Maybe the fan base wouldn't have complained as much, and then it would have been able to explain things more in depth. I mean, it had a $200 million budget, so I mean, come on now. And then episode 4 and 5, I feel like episode 4 was mostly just filler to build up to episode 5. Now, those are my I would say episode 5 is like my favorite episode out of the season, and then the finale after that. So I feel like episode 4, it was okay, but there is so much dialogue, a lot of things that I personally just feel like we didn't need. And then all it did was leave it into episode 5, which was, don't get me wrong, it was a great episode. Episode 6, it connects very well with the finale. Episode 6, again, it felt like a lot of build up, a lot of filler. There's just some things that we didn't need. I mean, did we really need to see Cormier getting into a bathtub? Did we really need to spend a few minutes following him to go down to the lake, or whatever you want to call it? There's just some things in episode 6 I just feel like we didn't need personally. Now, when this show was first marketed, I felt like it was going to be a heavy Sith lore show, but it was more like Jedi stuff. I feel like they didn't really bring anything new to the table when it comes to the Sith side of things. The bleeding the lightsaber, it was cool, but we've seen it done better with Darth Vader in the comic books, and the Garen guy from Jedi Survivor. I feel like that was done much better. But it's the first live action version of bleeding the lightsaber, so I won't fault them too much on that. And so, like, let's say all those episodes were combined and we're at 4 episodes. So a lot of that stuff was from the point of view of the Jedi. So that could have been the first 4 episodes, and then after that, the last 4 episodes could have been straight up Cormier and Osha moving forward, as Cormier is learning from Darth Plagueis, his master. We get a Darth name for Cormier, Darth Teeth, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And then Osha learning from Cormier as his acolyte, whether Darth Plagueis knows about Osha or not, because either way it still respects the rule of 2, because when Sidious had Count Dooku as his apprentice, he knew about Ventress. So there can still be 3, but the third one is just the acolyte. I feel like we could have gotten a lot more from Darth Plagueis, learning about them, and then just really just more dark side stuff. I just hate when the new Star Wars era, they like to market and bait us with this dark side stuff, and then we ended up getting this like flip-flop of changes, whether like the good guys is going to bad, or we just don't get a whole lot from the bad guys, just like the whole Battlefront 2 campaign. That whole game was marketed as a straight up Empire game, a post Empire era where you're fighting off rebels. And then I want to say after the first hour of the game, it's nothing but you turning against the new Empire and running with the Resistance. So I'm really getting tired of that. But like I said, I really just want some more dark side stuff. Don't get me wrong, this show has kept me invested throughout the whole season. There was some things that I personally didn't like about it, but I still stuck around the show week to week. Was still excited to watch it week to week. Now, if you ask me, do I want a season 2 after all of this? I'll tell you, I don't know. If they give us a season 2, I'll watch it. If they tell us that there will be no season 2, I won't be happy nor sad. I'm just right in the middle when it comes to it, because a lot of my favorite characters out of it died anyways. I like Soul and I like Jackie. I think Jackie was one of the best characters in the show. Unfortunately, she did die early, but she was definitely my favorite when it came to the whole series. I think Osha and May's story was just uninteresting. I think the focus of the show should have been more on Quamir and have him as the main character so that we can learn about his side of things. I mean, they couldn't even give us a flashback of Venestra whipping him and giving him the scars on the back. That would have been cool to see. And then I would have liked him like actually interacting with Plagueis and pretty much, giving us some more Sith lore, teaching us some things about like how he became who he is today, and that sort of thing. But all in all, I would say this season of the Acolyte was probably a 6.5 out of 10. That's probably where I feel about it. I've rewatched some of my favorite episodes, like episode 5 or episode 4 and 5, and then episode 8. Excuse me. Those were probably my like favorite out of the whole 8 episode season. So going forward, I am happy with Star Wars, so I would like to see more, but got to get better writers. This show, there are some plot points that just didn't make sense. Like we see one part where the little beaver little guy, Basil, is trying to attack May, and then he stops Soul from shooting her down, and they never really explain that or even have Soul confront him about that. It seemed like a lot of the writing was due to convenience, but we just gotta change some things about that. I don't think it was a bad idea that everybody died, because it still stays in line with the canon where no Jedi knew that the Sith were alive, because Venestra, she doesn't know if Cormier was a Sith or not. All she asked was, "What are you doing here?" And after that, she didn't like see him face to face. His lightsaber got destroyed at the end of it. So, I mean, unless they take a deep dive into his lightsaber hilt, they'll probably never know that it was a red lightsaber there. But, we'll see what goes on next. But those are my thoughts and opinions when it comes to the Acolyte. Overall, it'll be my lower ranked of shows. But I don't know. I still put it over a few shows, but it'll be a series that I still revisit because the action in this show was top tier. I would say it's the best fighting that Disney has put out. The fight scenes in the Acolyte was better than Obi-Wan Kenobi. It was better than every sequel movie fight that we've seen. And I would say even like the little bit of lightsaber fighting that we got in The Mandalorian, it was better than that. Besides the Luke fight, in season 2, I feel like that was probably the best we've gotten. But when it comes down to lightsaber versus lightsaber, then the Acolyte is top tier on what Disney has put out. Is it better than the George Lucas Star Wars era? Not at all, not even close. But I do like how they use the Force a little bit more when it comes to fighting. So we see Khmer, pulling in Jedi into his lightsaber and then swiping their heads off, things like that. I do like to see Force powers in the fights. But I think the show was also, like, the sets were really good, but there's some things that if they're going to move forward for a season 2, there's going to be some things that they definitely have to change. But either way, if we do get an Acolyte season 2, then I'll be here to watch it. But like I said, these are my thoughts. I keep on dragging this on because I keep on thinking of new things on like what I liked about the show or what I didn't like about the show. But so far, I believe that I've covered pretty much everything. But let me know in the comments, did you guys like the Acolyte? Did you hate it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? And don't forget to like this video and subscribe. See you later, guys.